Hey, WokeNFree Nation, Newsly is an audio app for iOS and Android. It picks up web articles about the most trending topics on the web at any given moment and reads them to you in a natural human voice.
For the first time in the history of the internet, the entire web becomes listenable. Browse articles from topics you choose and start playing. Stop scrolling, start listening.
You can follow any topic as specific as you like, from sports, science, to Bitcoin, or even one of your favorite celebrities. It will find you the latest articles and read them to you aloud.
And they have podcasts as well. Explore trending podcasts from over 50 countries. Our podcast, WokeNFree, is there too.
Now let's get into the episode. Hi, it's Natasha.
And Khalil.
And we are the co-hosts of
WokeNFree.
Thank you for tuning in to our 321st episode of WokeNFree. If you've been tuning in every week for WokeNFree Wednesday, you know that WokeNFree is all about being real and honest with each other and you. We talk about everything and anything important to us, you, the world, and nothing is off the table. This week's episode is titled The Last Supper with AI. Ha ha ha. So,
Truly.
Depending on where you want to take that, we'll see. Come on the party train. Exactly. And let's get into things. But before we go all the way into the topic, a couple of ground rules or things to discuss. First and foremost, have you gone to WokeNFree.com not only to listen to this episode, but to download it through the Podbean app? If not, please do that immediately, because through the app are you able to put in your comments. And we know you have questions and comments around AI assistance, as well as AI generated imagery and everything AI that could be discussed. So lots to talk about. Curious to hear what you have to say about it. Next, for supporting the show, yes, go to WokeNFree.com to listen, but we are also on other platforms. So if you, say, can't put the Podbean app on your phone or wherever you listen to podcasts, then you still can support our show by going to WokeNFree.com, go on the Listen tab, and then pick your platform of choice where you'll follow and subscribe to us. So you'll find this show on iTunes, TuneIn, Stitcher, Google Play. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, SoundCloud, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Pandora. It's a WokeNFree world where most podcasts are consumed. You will find this show. Now, on WokeNFree.com through the Podbean app, you can also click to subscribe to follow us there. And on social media, we'd love for you to engage with us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, Pinterest, and LinkedIn at WokeNFree. And then if you have 90 seconds, which is more of a statement, less of a question, we'd love a review. For folks who've shared how this show is feeding into their life, what they've enjoyed about it, really means the world to us. So keep it up, and thank you in advance for the 5-star reviews.
That's always good to have.
You know, always.
And before we get the 5-star reviews, we'll start the conversation by sharing a little bit about ourselves.
Yeah.
This week we're asking, would you rather cannonball or dive into a pool?
Gets worse and worse each week.
This is an interesting one.
Because you're going to do neither? I mean...
this
hard
is...
pass.
it's just, I don't know.
And all the way to Arizona, Okay.
Well, hey, careful. You can train
People do have pools here.
Train at high altitudes, too, if you go
true.
to the right place, right? So...
Well,
don't blame me on this. Blame the people that made this question.
I do blame those people. Foolishness.
I wouldn't have thought of asking this, to be honest.
I hope this question never gets asked ever again to anyone. The answer for me would be to dive directly into the pool. And you?
I mean, yeah, for me, obviously, I'd want to dive into the pool. I feel cannonball is the kind of thing an amateur does, but realistically...
Wow. That's a different answer. Okay.
But realistically, I probably would cannonball into it, because if you don't dive correctly, you could belly flop. So right now, I probably do the cannonball because it'd be less painful to dive.
Oh, so that's when you jump and then hold your legs, right?
Yeah,
okay.
and you just go in kind of like butt first.
Oh, I see what you're saying, because if you go dive, but you don't go at the right angle, you just flop.
Your stomach can hit the water, and that's going to really hurt.
Even if you put your hands down and you're in that, that kind of...
It's easier said than done, though. If you haven't done it before. Like, I don't think you've gone off the high dive, even.
I've never done either of these. That's what I said.
So if you jump, I've jumped off the high dive. I've never tried to dive.
Oh, you cannonball.
I jump in
purposely.
Well, I've done feet first and cannonball. And I've never done any flips. I didn't try any of that either.
Well, there's always something.
There's always some time to do that.
Exactly.
Yeah, I wanted to do that.
In your old age.
When I hit like a certain mark, like a half-century mark kind of thing, would make sense to do it. Like maybe I'll do a dive, cannonball, backflip, kind of thing.
When I turn 100, I'll do one. Try my luck.
Yeah, let's see. I mean, the bones are soft, right?
Yeah,
your bones are nice and soft, so it's
exactly.
good. It'll help. It'll make it very
jelly
helpful.
time.
Yeah, see? It could be peanut butter jelly time.
Hey,
it's stuff like that. It could be that time. It could be AI generated art time. You know, we never know. We never know how it could be. It's just different times of the day.
Foolishness. Yep. Mm-hmm.
It may be sloppy, but
what's your question?
It's less sloppy than a cannonball.
Oh, okay.
My question is going to be, since we're talking about the AI generated art, we've got to ask, is AI generated art taking over natural art?
No.
That's a great answer to that specific question.
I would say yes, there's an active debate around it. If folks aren't already paying attention, I don't know what rock you're under, because everywhere you go on TikTok, now granted my TikTok or our TikTok algorithm is definitely AI focused, because that's all I get, tips and tricks and all this stuff, just because I'm fascinated and really excited about that technology. We're fans of it. We utilize it for sure. But for folks who aren't paying attention, start to pay attention, because it's interesting. There's a lot of different platforms that are now pumping out art to you in a way that it does make you question if there's a need or a space for human artists, but whether there's going to be a prevalence or even a preference for AI generated art over human drawn or created art. And I still would say no. I would say, because we're still in the earlier stages of AI art, and if you don't know what I mean, go on Canva and try some of the generation yourself, along with other platforms.
Can they try that without paying, is the question.
It's a great question. I'm not sure.
So they need to go to the other platform.
So they can check out ideogram.ai, which we can share in the show notes as well at WokeNFree.com. But there are a lot of places that will do AI generated art for free, and you'll see the drawbacks. You'll also see that looks nothing like me when you try to.
I mean, you can go to even Bing. Bing has a image creator.
Exactly. So there's different places to do it, but there's limitations, and at the end of the day, and you've identified this too, people, especially for folks who are creating content that is more of a cohesive story, like a comic book, or you want one image and you want that exact same image but slightly different. That's where sometimes AI, or not sometimes, seems like more likely than not, AI falters there, and that's where a human artist could draw a panel.
They'll give you
one
what you
person
want.
and another, and it's going to be pretty much the same thing. Now, there are functionalities, like if you leverage the ChatGPT, the newest version, their pro version with DALL-E E, apparently I've seen a TikTok where that demonstrates that it is getting, like, you can actually have an image and change that same image and change the hair or add some words in it. So it's kind of cool that it's doing that. But still, it's not, don't worry, we're not in the Matrix just quite yet. And there's still a space for human artists, is my final answer.
Well, yeah, the key is, like you said, don't worry, and not yet, at least, right? It's not at that point where it can replace these gig workers yet, but just guess what? Things will get there, right? It's a matter of time where people aren't going to pay, hundreds of dollars to get a piece of art made. But I'm just saying, even to get like a book cover, I don't know how much they charge for book covers, but you could just go right now and have your book cover AI generated.
Definitely.
Right? You don't have to go to Fiverr. You can just keep, and what's cool about the AI generation, you can do it almost infinitely. Like you can do tons and tons.
Depends on the platform of choice.
And the great thing about it is the speed of getting it. You ask for it, you wait less than a minute to get your result.
That's incredible.
You don't get that with humans. Humans are going to give you some time.
That's a drawback. Yeah.
Yeah, the speed is.
I mean,
no
matter how good the
unmatched.
artist is, I don't think they're pumping that out in a minute.
So the key is AI has that speed, but guess what? It's missing right now is the precision of natural artists.
That's
because
true.
artists can give you a precise thing. You ask them for that, you will get that. AI might say, well,
to some degree.
No, you'll. I mean, when I say you ask, so it's if I ask for a child that's inside of an egg, inside of a nest, I'll get that. If I give that to AI, I don't know what kind of child it's going to make.
So the reason why I raised that is because, like, you could say child with a certain look, and sometimes
that's for AI.
No, for the human artist.
What?
You could say, hey, I want the child to look like this, and that artist's interpretation of what this looks like is a little bit different than what.
But AI is worse because
I think totally off,
I mean, it's just like, wow, I don't really know what it doesn't know what you're trying to do.
This is,
it might not even give you a child, it might give you a monster
or something.
Yeah, you don't know what it gives you. It might give you some creature.
And then, distorted images or distorted limbs.
So when I'm thinking of precision, I mean, I'm not saying that that's the exact thing that it was supposed, like, in your head, because things in your head is hard to get on the paper.
Humans interpret things
differently. But humans are going to be, at least right now, they're more precise than AI. I feel like AI is like an artist with like 1,000 paintbrushes that's trying to do everything at once. And humans, I feel, they got 3 paintbrushes. It takes them a while, but they kind of have a focus. Compared to AI, it's like, let me make all this stuff, see what happens. Throw it all together. This is what you want, I can do it, and I can do 10 different ways and see if any of these match what you want. See how it does, because that's the thing too, to say, whenever it generates an image, it generates multiple images. It doesn't just say, it doesn't just give you one thing, because it knows, or the programmers knew, like, hey, let's make sure that we give a couple of outputs, because that first one might not be the one, that second one might not be one, but maybe that third one might be interesting. So they always give multiple outputs. Are there any concerns with using AI-generated art images?
Absolutely. There's several, which is why I think some folks are kind of up in arms about it. So first, right out of the gate, copyright and plagiarism issues. So AIs are trained on, artificial intelligence models are trained on a vast data set of existing art. So there is that risk that some of the AI output is too closely in replication to actual copyrighted source material. So the problem with that then is the AI is going to recreate potential actually copyrighted material, and then there's a lack of proper attribution that's going to be provided. So then that either human artists or however the original art that was copyrighted was made is now, there's potential loss of income and loss of credit and all of that stuff. There's also an issue regarding lack of consent from original artists. So using those same training data sets that may use an artist's work without permission, not so good. Because again, artists who create art want to be informed of when their art is being utilized or leveraged. And to do that without their consent, one could consider that unethical exploitation.
It's funny though, because think about this. What about just new artists? Don't they get inspiration from looking at other art? Should they be charged for that?
I know.
Because it's got a buddy. The AI is just doing it more again. Actually, this is where the AI is more precise in terms of training. It looks at that and it may use like exact pieces compared to a person's mind.
It's an
we're going to transform it, right? It's like it's still kind of muddy.
It's different. It's
but people are training data sets into their mind. It's just not called that. I mean, they look at the art and say, "Oh, that's interesting." Like,
we all are influencing each other. It's just how this system now does it. Where,
is so
like
precise.
you said, though, it could really kind of capture a lot of that original art and then repurpose it. And then to what degree is that now stealing, or is that now like more than an inspiration? And it's
I don't think they
misuse
should. I don't think they should come for the data set though being trained. I think they should come really. It's hard though, but it's the output, because just because you trained on the data, if it looks so much different, then that to me is different. It's just like a human making different art. But if it does resemble it too much, then that needs to be copyrighted.
Okay.
I mean, infringement.
Yeah. Now, one can imagine this as being also a concern, the potential negative impact on human artists' livelihoods, right? With all this folks utilizing AI-generated art that may disrupt the income streams or even career pathways for human artists. And that is sad and frustrating. And, one has to think through what that looks like. Also, you mentioned this as well.
I would argue for that, though.
They could be experts in the AI. They could utilize it themselves,
I'm going harder with that is that, let's be honest, how many people make a living off of art?
Well, I mean, we'd have to do some research on that. We can't just speak on the top of our head on that. You'd have to look at that. I'm not quite sure.
But just think about it. Even the top, you can look at any list. If you look at top 10 jobs that people should go for, it doesn't say artist. That's not one of them.
Of
Freelance
course, but
artists
I
is
mean,
not
we live
one.
in a world
It's like that's
is
a tough job
skewed towards
It's
data
really
and
tough.
technology now, right? So the arts is not valued as much as they would have
I don't
been
think it ever has been, but it's even artists.
Yeah.
Artists have never gotten the kind of
But yet
money
we've always
until they
praised the
die.
art, though. Like,
yeah,
we
like
always are greatly
the great
appreciative of
artworks.
it,
They
yeah.
only become millions when they're dead. They don't get
In
that
the
when
past,
they're alive.
yeah. But there are artists who do make a nice living from it.
Not
Again,
like the like what
Yeah.
they're worth. I'm just.
Yeah,
I just
no,
don't
I
want people to
understand.
think because it's not like let's say AI in the medical field. Now that seems scarier because we're always told, hey, you guys can get into the medical field and it's okay. But if you're becoming a freelance artist and then AI takes your job, it's like, well, it was tough
Yeah.
anyway. I mean, AI came here and did it.
It's a sticky subject because just
It's
recently
hard.
I sent even a video to you around. I wanted to die laughing
Uh-oh.
because remember the robots in the Amazon? I don't know if that was a real video.
Oh.
Isaac, if people saw this. So okay, guys.
I don't know if that's the real robot they're
folks,
using.
my bad.
I don't know if that's the real one.
I don't know if that's a real video, but imagine
I have no
you go
comment for
into
that one.
what's that called? A warehouse, and you expect to see human people moving boxes and things, and instead you see robots moving.
But the problem was they're using like robot from 1991.
I know, that was wild.
The
I thought
walking-
we did like it was a weird RoboCop transition in
Because
society.
the first, like, one of the first comments is like, that thing is not moving as fast as a human.
That thing is moving
what
slow.
does it do for you?
It was struck in like reverse time. It was wild. It was such a fun video.
That's like the
I was
first
like,
human ever taking its first
know.
steps. That's what it was.
That
Like
was
the first
incredible.
human ever.
It was incredible.
It was funny though. It was funny.
It was so funny.
Because I know that one was funny, but they do have robots that actually can move pretty swiftly and do some.
Don't
like,
scare folks.
you should watch those. Those ones are like creepy because they'll run up the steps and they're pretty quick.
That's not funny.
They're quick and they can
Stop
be
funny,
pushed
Philip,
over.
stop
They're
it.
nice. Like it's kind of futuristic. It's
You
not
better-
Terminator
you-
style. Not
okay,
Terminator. Because
excellent.
you still know it's a robot, but you're like, wow, that's pretty smooth. If that thing wanted to come for me, I better go underneath the ocean.
So we think it's like iRobot kind of functionality.
Yeah, it's kind of like
Nice.
the iRobot
Okay.
thing. Yeah,
Nice.
You should see that.
Shout out to Will Smith for a variety of reasons.
Wow.
Okay, now some other concerns. You mentioned it, that loss of human element, right? So AI art is not going to be able to necessarily present or provide that human type of touch to how the art is created. Even though there is some very beautiful and human-centered art that you can generate, it's not the same as a human drawing it, painting it, depending upon also the materials used by a human. There's, it's a different form of art. It's a different vibe. Also, you and I have discussed this, and it's still an ongoing conversation. Bias, perpetuation. So, what are those training data sets? How is bias coming into those data training sets, right? So, when they're looking across the internet and across the different sources of art, is there an opportunity to where stereotypes of what people of color, genders, sexual orientation, are being looked at within the sources training the models, because then that's just a perpetuating bias through that type of art, and that's unfortunate. And I think you and I have generated art that demonstrates that. And misinformation risk. So what about AI generated fake imagery that could be used to spread misinformation? That's challenging, right? Kind of like a concept to that, similar to that, would be like is it called deep fake?
Deep fake,
yeah. Where you're like, oh, that president said that. No, they did not. But now you have this generated media asset that is now purporting false information. That's a very scary space to be in. And then also over-reliance on AI as a crutch. Some creators could worry that this AI art generation is going to be a shortcut to folks, instead of them like developing skills or, being too reliant upon it, where it just takes over. It's now a requirement as opposed to it being optional. So
I love that though. I know I'm one who welcomes that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah, I love it. I use AI every single day in my life, and I've done that now, I would say, every day for a couple of months, but continuously or ongoing at least several days a week for many
It's
months.
It's like the calculator. I mean, to me, AI is like the
I know,
calculator,
no one's coming
right?
for the calculator.
We're not using the
that.
abacus. So
yeah,
we moved
I'm
on.
sorry,
right?
but I'm not going to do that multiplication in my mind. Like,
we use tools to help us, and if we.
But yes, if the apocalypse happened, then that would be challenging. But thankfully, I don't think you'll have to do math.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. That you have other things to worry about.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's why it is. This one I don't go for. The only thing you could say is what the internet is going to go down or something, and then you can't have access to the AI. Nah, I don't.
Don't speak that into
That
existence.
one's not. I don't go for that one.
Yep.
Like that's the crutch thing. It's who cares? It's a good thing.
I mean, it's something to call out.
Yeah, but I understand there's people like the purists. You know, you don't really know how to do that on your own.
Of course.
You don't have the skills
I mean,
to call yourself a creator.
Again, we're anchoring the conversation around AI art, but again, one could argue the same around AI generated writing tools now, right? There are folks who are utilizing it. If you haven't listened to our episode on Copy AI, folks, writing that you're reading is getting a little bit different now, and it's I love it and I can't stop enjoying it. So, but some folks who are, like you're saying, truist, could really struggle with that. Like, writing isn't what it used to be. No, it is not.
Yeah, it's like that, and it's a true statement. Yeah, that's definitely true.
1,000% change.
But it's a faster world we live in.
We
That's
gotta
the
move.
thing.
Gotta move.
People are taking the time to let me figure out what this sentence means.
Yeah, no one here is Jane Austen, and we gotta move. We gotta move.
Yeah. So, the only thing I worry about with the AI generation is that, like, once it becomes ubiquitous, is it going to mean that certain images... Yeah, I was thinking that these images are going to not look that different, possibly. I don't know. They might be kind of like
too similar.
Yeah, I think they may start to meld where it's like, wait, you made that, but someone else made something really similar.
Well, that you definitely see on the ideogram.
Yeah, you can see how things can kind of meld, and it's like, it's not that different than the other. Compared to now, like, when you go to a human artist, like, people go to different ones, and even the human artist himself makes things out of completely different. But AI is good with that. It can actually reproduce the same thing if it wanted to as many times as possible. So it's like, if you put in the same prompt, I mean, technically you can get the same.
You can.
Somebody can get that image, right?
Slightly pumps. It depends.
Only a slight difference. But technically, you could say, all right, I know that this AI platform generated this way as opposed to this way. So I think what you would need different AIs with different data sets to always keep it where you'll have some uniqueness. But I don't know. I think eventually it'll be tough.
Really, the best of both worlds is the opportunity to leverage human artists with AI art, right? So
that'd be the best.
Yeah,
right?
where you could use the prompt, you put something out, and then an actual human artist could go in and modify and adjust, and then
if they instead of just pumping out like a JPEG or a PNG, if they gave you kind of a Photoshop file or whatever open source file where you can edit the layers and stuff, then that would be interesting, right?
Because now you have that custom factor, then, which is really cool.
See, if they did, then that might happen in the future. See, doing that though, that's when I think it can really take off.
Credit WokeNFree. Thank you and goodbye.
And we'll take the royalty check for that.
Facts. Let's collaborate. WokeNFree at gmail.com. Thank you.
Exactly. What's your personal experience with AI generated art?
Oh, if I could wear a t-shirt that says, I wish I was AI generated, I would. I love AI generated art. It's given us a new tickle, or giggle, as our son likes to say. Every day we laugh hysterically. At the wonders and the errors for which AI generated art is producing. But also, it's just a wonderful way, for me, growing up, there's a variety of factors why I didn't lean into art as much as I could, and I'm just so thrilled and so grateful to now consider some of the work that we do through content creation a form of my own digital art, and I enjoy it, and I have a lot of good fun at it, and it's really been fun to see how it's inspiring and affecting people's lives. So love it. We use it through website content, through social media content, as much as possible. I hope I wake up as an AI generated bobblehead or something.
Oh, wow.
I love it so much. But I do not I don't undervalue human artists. So I don't want folks listening being like, oh, betrayer, right? Like, no. Like, I love artists. I have artists in my community, in my network. I love what y'all are doing. Keep at it. The art is one of the greatest gifts that we have as human beings in our society. But we also need to make space for how technology is interfacing in this new arena, and we can, or this very long-standing arena, to make it something new and make it something fresh. And like we said, it would be interesting to see if there's a platform that offers the best of both worlds. That could be a really cool business idea, really cool opportunity.
But I'd also like to add that you definitely created your own personal art as well, not using AI, but you don't give yourself enough credit.
You talking about me?
Yeah, remember you've created art in the past.
Oh, you're making a joke, a little bit giggle.
Why is that a joke? You have created art in the past.
Because the face you're making at me right now.
Oh, okay. I'm making a face. I was just telling you
I should
a
draw
fact.
it, really. Would you like to see my illustration
But
of you, Khalil?
remember we made a binding agreement.
No, I didn't. You can't hardly tell a lawyer that they made a binding agreement.
We didn't.
Nope.
There was no contracts here.
There were no contracts. There is no binding.
There was a thought process, though.
There was a statement that was conveyed.
All right, that's not a thought process?
I can't speak on behalf of how you arrived at that thought.
Oh, okay. So going upon that, though,
yes,
it was stated that thou shalt not draw Khalil's images.
I did not consent or agree to that. That was a statement that you made and I heard, and good for you. Thank you and goodbye.
No, but people do. Oh, that's a good question, though. Do people have the right to say, please don't draw me? Or please don't capture my image? Maybe, I don't know. Is there a legal right? See, can you say, don't draw me?
I am not an art
attorney,
I know, so I will not speak on that, but yeah.
I know there's like things in terms of celebrities.
You can't take the likeness of folks without, their consent and things like that.
Yeah, but in terms of celebrities, you can kind of get away with it if you're doing it for either like
commentary
for a commentary purpose or for comedic purposes. You can kind of get away with that.
In our
Think about Family Guy.
Yes, exactly.
The things like that. So you can do that, certainly. But what about a person on the street? If I see someone on the street, can I just make them like into a funny character? And if they come up to me and they say, hey, don't draw me, I'm
not sure.
Do I have to abide by them? Or I could say, well, it doesn't matter. There's no law against this.
I think it's kind of
I think it
mostly speaks within kind of what you're saying, like that interpretation. Like, I think people are entitled to illustrate the world that is. If that includes people, that's fine. But again, I would suggest that people speak with a art lawyer.
Lawyer.
Well, lawyers that focus their practice in arts and find media and things like that. Like,
good luck finding that, but yeah.
Oh, there's artists, but there's lawyers that focus on that art law and media art and media law and things like that. Absolutely, yeah. So you just gotta find them, but I can't speak on that. But good luck and
exactly, good luck.
Because I say that because we live in a world where there's cameras everywhere. So regardless of whether you out here giving people your permission slips,
you're on somebody's ring doorbell,
radar
right?
all day long.
You're on somebody's ring doorbell as you speak, right?
Like when you go out and you have maybe not enough clothing on and you're picking up mail. I mean, good luck. Just like good luck.
Yeah.
So just keep that in mind.
It's a thought process. For me, my personal experiences, I created a few images that I haven't actually shared. It was just I just want to test the limits of AI, and my real issue with it is that they will restrict you based on certain things you enter.
Well, yes.
So I think that's my biggest problem.
That's a great call out. And what are some of the whole hang-ups that you've seen, just to call it out for folks to know?
Oh, just even if you put something like a curvy black woman,
woo,
that'll be restricted. Just that
part.
And then
I know, disrespectful.
And then so I put that. All right, let's take that away. I got to be careful because if I just put black in there, sometimes that's just restricted.
Disrespectful.
Just black anything. Yep. I'm like, I don't know.
It seems challenging. It seems challenging when I've entered it as well. I
don't know if I have to enter African American. Maybe
it depends on the
correct.
I
don't know.
Yeah. Well, I think what it's trying to do is it's trying not to have like an output that is offensive, right?
Yeah,
so it's overly protective, but it is frustrating because you are trying to, like, for us, we definitely deeply appreciate black art and artists portraying black culture, and we're trying to use prompts that illustrate. You're trying to
create an image that you can't even find easily, just a stock photo, right?
Exactly.
So that's what you're trying to recreate.
I mean, again, what I would love is the reiteration of these platforms is to allow, like, when it does say, oh, this seems offensive, that it allows you to add, like, maybe provide more context. Like, what do you mean by this, right? So that it knows that you're not trying to, because some people may be trying to operate from a ill intent, and they're trying to make something bad, and that's not cool. But for us, like, we're trying to promote the beauty and wonder of people of color, of people of all different backgrounds, and we want to be able to make characters or imagery that celebrate blackness, celebrate whiteness, celebrate Asian, Indian, Hispanic, everything, the whole wonderful rainbow of humanity. So
yeah, the key is this thing is, the internet is about the lowest common denominator, and that's people that are trying to wreak havoc. So that's why they try to protect against that.
Because imagine how bad it could go. If
they've been burned in the past, with AI things. There's been AI chatbots that have been let loose on, like, Twitter, and people really screwed that AI chatbot up because it just started speaking racist stuff.
That's a shame.
And when I say racist stuff, all it did was say the N-word and stuff.
That's horrifying.
Yeah, so see, things can get out of hand.
Yeah. So it's trying to do the right thing. It's just
they want to prevent.
We're at misuse. The front stage. Like 10 years from now, it'll be so fascinating to be having this conversation again and saying, what are we doing with the next whatever iteration of what this will be? So with that, what do you think when it comes to human artists, natural human artists? Should they be concerned with the popularity of AI generated art?
So this is interesting when I think about this. It depends on where you are in your career. So if you're an artist who's just up and coming, I would say I hope you're trying to work for like a large corporation and not freelance. Then I'd say you're okay. But if you're trying to freelance and you're new in your career, I would I would try to start to think how I can learn more about the AI generated art, because I don't know, I think this could blow up in 2 years or so, where like if you're freelancing, sometimes it takes you 7 years to hit your stride. So by the time you're hitting your stride, people are all on the AI ride and they're like, yeah, right, I don't want your services. So I think if you're a new up budding artist, like you said, all right, I'm going to start making content creation for people. Maybe you're going to have to expand your field. Maybe you're going to have to do some like web pages and stuff too for people, because I don't think you can just say, I'm an artist, I create art for people. I think you're going to have like a whole wide portfolio of what you do, because AI generated art, it's going to take care of a lot of the things that human artists used to do. Now, if you've been doing this for a while, no, you don't have to worry at all, because you'll be fine. You'll finish off your career and AI will just start, really being big. But just be careful if you're starting. I'd recommend not.
Based on your advice, that's why people still fear that this is the equivalent of Terminator.
Oh, really?
Yes, because you're like, well, if you're at the end of your journey, then never mind. But if you're just beginning, please run, because Terminator's behind you. Long, loud prayers, please.
Terminator needed somebody to polish his boots.
Exactly.
So come on, you gotta get something there.
And with that, my advice is actually not around the stage of your career, but actually just looking at like what you're saying, which is the reality of life is technology is only going to continue to improve and expand as you live longer, right? God willing. So at the end of the day, when you know the rules of engagement, you have to play the game. We cannot deny and be, similar to how folks are climate deniers, or all sorts of things. The reality is what it is, and technology is only going to continue to improve and only continue to integrate within our lives. So if you are an artist, whether you're new, middle, or seasoned, how can this technology help you make more money, help you streamline your processes, help you visualize your art in a new way? Like, I would lean all the way in to this and find ways for you to leverage it, not fear it, because fear is a very common human response. When we don't know something, we immediately jump to fear. There's a biological reason why that happens, but it is not an effective way to run a business or to grow yourself in your art. So I would encourage folks to lean in, figure out how they can make this tool more efficient for themselves as an artist, and what are opportunities for them to also, you mentioned shining the boots of Terminator, but really, like, at the end of the day, could you learn how to be an AI, like, could you train models as an artist? Like, is there an opportunity for you to come on the other side of things and make this this opportunity or this technological space something that speaks better to the artistry that is, just finding ways to lean in on all fronts.
And not be paid. Yep.
No. They
Train
should definitely.
models. That's a good one.
No. They should definitely be paid for their work. They have to work with whatever the companies are that's doing that.
That training though is not. It's usually like
or like
crowdsourced
could they
and
develop
stuff. It's not paid
or could
for.
they help to learn how to develop the proper prompts that customers or the user is going to be using? Like what would be art prompts that will get them what they're looking for? Like if they could understand the models better, then again there's a way to be like a tech.
They can make a guide or something.
Or a guide, yeah. Like if you're looking to create art like this, what are the prompts that are attached to that? If you're looking, you could lean into that and you can monetize and you can use this to make, and you probably can make more income if you lean into utilizing this more.
What I think about is the people who used to pilot the horse carriages. What did they do when the cars?
Pilot. You're disrespectful, though, Khalil. Really, come on. You're disrespectful. What are you saying?
No, I'm just thinking about them. They had a good career, right? Piloting the horses.
Get away from me. Why not go all the way back to when we were rolling stones down the streets? Like, before they were streets, just on the gravel.
But look, they had a great, their career was great. They thought they had great job security. Nobody knows how to get these horses to go from point A to point B. They were really good at it. They knew what to feed the horses. They knew what time to change the saddle.
Thank God Henry Ford came along. Exactly.
But see, I'm just saying, hey, you got to be careful because things can change quite fast.
Of course they can. Before you know it, we're going to become AI-generated art as we finish this episode. We're moving so fast, we're not even going to be real anymore.
Just be careful.
Exactly.
You got to watch your back. That's the thing.
Here we go again. See, this is why people think it's Terminator.
But no,
Stop
but it's not Terminator because there's so many other things you can do, though. That's the thing. It's not, you're not limited. And I just think it's funny because we're looking at such a small piece of like all the careers you can do.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
It's not like, this is so small. Like this industry to me, it's not like the biggest industry right now. If you said, hey, the sports industry is being taken over by AI,
people would
then that's going to be a little bit harder, right?
Yeah.
Because for athletes, if you don't need the athletes anymore, you have
But see, you say that now because I had that recent video. I'll see if I can include it in the episode to make people laugh. Imagine that thing is playing baseball. Come on, now. Come on. Or trying to throw a football. Get out of my face. Like,
you're like, it's the best quarterback of all time.
Hours.
It tries to grab the ball and slips.
It's like,
and then it's running and it falls over. Oh, you know what's funny to watch though? They have, I think, when do they do it? I forgot when, but they might do it for the, when is it?
Super Bowl?
They might do it. It's either Super Bowl they do it for, but I thought it was a soccer game. But either way, they have these robots like playing a game on the field, and there's like these little kind of humanoid robots, and they're moving, and you hear them like chink, chink, chink.
On the grass?
They have like turf grass. They're kind of small. They're maybe like 12 inches tall or something, but they're moving around and they try to, I think it's like a soccer thing. They try to kick the ball and sometimes they miss and they fall over. It's really funny.
Definitely not a football thing, yeah.
And then they gotta like move their arms backwards and push up and they gotta get going. It's it's a cool thing. It's
you
not.
You may need to include that link here.
Yeah, I don't think we're there yet though for AI replacing the athletes.
No. Young men and women and everyone in between, continue to play your sports and do your thing.
Here is where we go. Here is where we go. We go to the scenario. Time. Scenario 1. Mina is looking to release her first featured movie poster for an indie film her roommate wrote. She wants to create something impressive while also watching her budget. Should she look for a gig worker to produce her desire or use AI to create it?
I don't know why you're using this term gig worker. It's freelance artist. You know what I mean? Like, let's be like a little bit more respectful, please.
No, but it's like
it's a freelance artist.
But it's like the Uber of art. Like they bring art to you.
Freelance artists do art in all forms and fashions.
But aren't they on a platform where
Not
the platform
necessarily.
pays them? Oh, there's people that. Well, yeah, I mean there are people that do freelance.
Exactly.
But I'm thinking about. But I think a lot of people like to go to one platform now and kind of like streamline it instead of reaching out to freelancers.
Let's not like devalue the artist.
How's that devalued?
It's a freelance artist.
What's wrong with gig working?
Because
really
to me,
cool.
I'm
This is
thinking
about the
of
youngsters.
Uber, and we're thinking of art, like not Uber.
Oh, but that's what Uber probably would want to do in the future, right? You go to Uber for everything.
Exactly.
I think it's the end game.
So, I would say to start with AI, because that's just going to be a great opportunity for you to get some mock-ups. And if you're not liking what you're seeing, then you are welcome to contact a freelance artist to discuss what your budget could be and what you're looking for that you're not getting through AI generated art. And also making sure that whatever the AI generated art is you have the rights and the, whatever the permissions, legally speaking, to utilize that image as you need to. So, but I would say my first answer, start with the AI generated art, because you're going to need the mock-ups anyway, and then take it from there if you can't use those.
Okay, interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I would say just use the AI to create it, because the AI is free. That's really...
There's more to life than free.
That's, I mean, that's that. That's all I could say. I mean, it's free. And you could keep doing it as many times as you want.
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
I don't think I have to even validate that. Just there's many AI platforms.
Confirmation bias indeed. Excellent.
Just use more
You thought
platforms
it,
until you
so
get it.
thus it must be right.
Not that I thought it, but I just told you why. I said I gave you the solution and I gave you the reason.
I hope folks know that you're from Queens, New York.
Instead, you could pay money for something you can get for free. I don't know. You can. It's your choice.
Exactly.
Everybody has choices in this world.
That's not condescending at all.
No, we all have choices in this world. Sometimes I like to spend money too.
Exactly.
Sometimes I do. Sometimes I like the free. I don't know.
Exactly.
I don't know.
So condescending.
It's up to you.
Yep.
Scenario 2. Anand uses AI tools to create all of his content. He would not dream of a day without those said tools. While pursuing a job hunting website, he saw a position as a social media marketer. It listed a condition of hiring as not using AI tools on the job. Do you think Anand should apply to this job?
Ooh, what an interesting question or scenario, because it's really raising the conflict here between personal passion versus, can this person create or consider a professional decision that may be at conflict with who he is or what he likes to do in his free time? Interesting. So I think that's a conundrum that many people find, that, some folks do work in environments where there's certain rules or norms that actually are counter to like what they like to do in their personal time. So it depends on what you can live with and what, but based on how you've described this person as seemingly like, it's like every day, what a glorious day, AI, right? Like this person is deeply invested in their time and energy and their spirit of utilizing AI, as they should, if you haven't heard our bias towards it. So I would say...
You'd say I have a bias towards it? Or...
Well, I know I'm biased towards
okay.
it. Yeah. I would say I think you enjoy it, but I don't think you need to use it every day versus I'm like in it every day.
I say bias for me.
Yeah, I'm in it every day. I like, for me, when people are like, I can't think of writing, I'm like, what? Like, because there's just so much AI out there that you can just leverage. It doesn't make sense to me.
Now, come back to me 5 years from now when it's making comics, then yeah, I may have a bias towards it.
Okay, cool. Awesome. All right. So I would say probably this role would be too much at conflict with his personal passion. So no, because even if he did get offered it, if he goes into a culture that looks down on what he's passionate about, he may start to resent that work culture and or the work practices, and it probably wouldn't work out. So I would say don't apply for that, because also that company obviously is behind the ball and not understanding what they're saying no to.
Okay, so I agree with you, but what I'd like to add is that if he did apply and get this job, and then, what people do is they'd actually just break their terms, and they think maybe I can get away with it, they won't know. Guess what? You told me about it. There are tools to know that people are using AI.
Yes,
so
there are.
That's the problem. You can actually get caught for breaking the terms. So definitely don't apply to this job, because I know you're most likely going to end up using the tools on the job, and it's going to just be tough. So this isn't the job for you. This is not the kind of company you want to look at that doesn't want you to use things that are so pertinent to your life.
That are effective and meaningful,
Yeah, just go for something else, I would say. Skip this.
And that company may not be around in 5 years,
I know, like some companies don't want to adapt.
Yeah, exactly. If you want to be in the Stone Ages, then that's why.
Well, you can be with the Stones, right?
Exactly. And
see, that's fun.
There we go.
Scenario 3. Berlinda was reluctant to post AI-generated art to her social feeds, but eventually caved in. 24 hours after posting an AI-mixed recreation of a classic artwork, she received thousands of comments pointing out some particular language in the image. She didn't realize until the comments you could zoom in and see some words the AI added that could enrage certain people. Should Berlinda go with her gut and never use AI tools again?
No, Berlinda may need to invest in glasses and look at the images on a deeper level. Look at the images on a deeper level.
But I'm saying, what if you can't? You only can see it if you use your fingers to zoom in. You don't see it just when you're looking at it from afar.
Well,
you have to zoom in.
That
to
was
see
a teachable lesson, and in that moment.
What does that mean?
Next time I think she should continue to use AI. I don't think she should use that one scenario as the opportunity to say, "Oh, I can never do this again." You just have to be more. You have to do your due diligence. So I myself have been caught out there as well, where I've made images and I'm rushing out. Oh, I think it's great, and then people are like, "This is messed up," right? So you just got to look at your art when you make it. Then you zoom in, look at everything, especially if there are words on the screen, because we definitely don't want to put out things in the world where there are explicit language that's said and you don't want that said, and or there's offensive language and you don't want that said. You just got to pay attention. That's all. It doesn't mean you can't do anything. Again, that's jumping to a space of fear, and that is understandable, but it's not the most appropriate response when we can just do better.
Isn't that interesting though, that she never wanted to use it, then she did use it,
and then it messed up. But that's what that is. That's the secret, right? Because she created a space where she was so fear oriented, where it's like, I can't do this because this is going to be bad. I can't do it. And when you do it, you've already created that universe for that negative outcome to happen. So she just forecasted it and it happened. And so maybe just think about the lotto next time and see if you can have better luck there.
Okay, so you're suggesting she should invest all her money into the lotto?
Definitely not. That was a joke.
I know.
I'm saying that she should use AI art and keep it moving. Just pay attention more.
Oh, I thought you were about to say she should use AI to guess the numbers for the lotto.
That's a brilliant suggestion. I might do that. I don't even know if those models speak to that, actually. I guess it's
supposed to be random.
Well, it can
right?
It can scrape the internet, so I guess so. It could.
Well, yeah, it would take it, but it could show if there is a pattern. I wonder if
anyone who's won lotto recently would actually attribute their win to AI. That would be. That would be such a game changer.
But they have a secret algorithm. They have a secret AI that no one has access to or something?
No. They might have to be a prompt that could predict based on.
What do you think the next lotto numbers are going to be?
That's such an interesting idea.
I don't know what it would base upon, but I don't know what the trends are.
I don't know enough on the back end of what it's doing to figure it out. But I wonder if you had some great idea there.
Yeah, for me, I would say Belinda. This shouldn't be her. I agree with you. This shouldn't be her last go with AI tools, because I just think of it as you're an amateur. What do you expect? You're going up against
Pleasant. You're
LeBron
not holding
James.
Back at all. I see.
No, but she's going against LeBron James. Does she really think she can dunk on him? I mean, it makes no sense.
Where did LeBron make his way into this? Am I missing something? Are we the AI art now?
Because I'm just saying, if you're in a competition against other people, then you can't expect that you're going to do so well. So she's competing against other people that know how to use AI tools. She has no clue how to use it, right? She
just has to learn. Yeah.
She just started. You can't say just because it didn't work out the first time, it won't work out the 100th time.
No, we can't. Yeah.
Or even the second time.
Try
What's
again.
cool about it is you can, like I said, you can make it so many times too. It's not like, oh man, I made 5 of these. That's it. No more. No, you can make a ton of these images. So
Definitely.
You just use some tools, use it wisely, and like you said, double check your work, because then you won't get in these situations.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's that.
Exactly. And with that, we are at the end of our 321st episode of Woke and Free. Disturbing. This episode was titled The Last Supper with AI, and if you know your art, you know what the reference is. What do you folks need to do now, Khalil?
And they also know AI from a different era. Maybe.
Allen Iverson?
Yes. The answer.
Teacher's
Always
pet,
the answer.
Always.
He's always the answer.
He is always the answer.
Yep.
Shout out to Alan Iverson. Yes.
Yep.
We hope you're doing well, sir.
He's getting that money right now.
You better get it, honey.
I think the Reebok contract or something.
Oh, good.
I think so, yeah, that's...
We love you.
He
Keep
hit the
going,
age
sir.
that he gets all his money now, so he's doing well. So come back next week for the new WokeNFree Wednesday episode. Make sure you follow us on social media to follow along the conversation, and make sure you tune in next week for WokeNFree Wednesday to join the conversation at WokeNFree.com.
And if you are interested in submitting a topic, because y'all know that we have the most interesting things to talk about, but if you have some ideas as well, we'd love to hear from you. Best place to reach us is our Contact Us page at WokeNFree.com. That's WokenFree.com. And I will reiterate, that is not Natasha Nurse's LinkedIn inbox.
Oh, interesting.
I just, there's a difference. Thank you. And we'd also love to hear from you and see you engage with us on social media. So again, you'll always find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, Pinterest, and LinkedIn at WokenFree. And all sponsorship or collaboration queries, reach us on our Contact Us page at WokenFree.com.
If you didn't already subscribe, please do share the episode and make sure you come back to join the conversation every Wednesday for WokenFree Wednesdays. Remember, WokenFree is more than a podcast, it is a way of life. Till next time.